propane piping upgraded because it's not the right diameter. I don't know. We have power connected to the house from the street. We have power in the basement, power and lights in the basement, power and lights in the kitchen, power and lights in the living room, and power and lights in the little boy's bedroom.
Oh, well, that's
As
good.
electricians slowly go through, because you remember, like, there's some places that have no power set up properly, so if you want to put a switch on the wall, you got to cut a hole and then cut a hole in the ceiling and then cut a hole across the ceiling to get where you're going. There's a lot of that kind of work. So we still have 2 bathrooms and 3 bedrooms. No, 2 bathrooms and 4 bedrooms to put power and lights in. And a hallway, 2 hallways, and a mudroom, and some exterior outlets. So we still have a good week to 2 weeks of labor left on electricity. What else can I tell you? We have, there's 2 fenced-in pastures. We have one of them fully mowed and like manicured. It looks nice. The other one
nice.
Is like weeds up to here.
Ooh.
So we'll get to that eventually. I don't know.
And then you got food from your Amish neighbors.
Yeah, we've met our Amish neighbors. They're wonderful. Wonderful
KP
people.
is on YouTube saying, great show today. What's up, Mike on YouTube? If you are on YouTube or Facebook, say hello. On YouTube, make sure you subscribe and become a part of the YouTube family, and then introduce yourself. So it was a good conversation as we yesterday and then now at the end of the show kind of reflected on the census. But then we also talked about, because we talked about the census on Overtime yesterday. We talked about, what was it?
We'll have something else in the census if you want to do that more.
The what?
The census. Do you not want to talk about that more?
We can, but we talked about it on Overtime, but we have new stuff because we have the reactions. Because we went off on talking about labels and people of color. Did you want to talk about that?
No. There's actually one more point I didn't get to make.
Good. Okay, go ahead.
So the census again indicated 3 truths, 3 new realities. I said 3. It's 3 new realities. It is that for the first time since 1790, there was a decrease in the white population. The white population is below 60%, and under age 18 and under, it's majority non-white population. So all that to say, we've talked about it from various perspectives. One of the interesting things we hear a lot of, and I hear time and again whenever issues related to ethnicity and race come up, is a phrase kind of like this one from Mike. He said this, quote, "Hopefully we can do better at addressing what issues there may be without making race a constant conversation, exacerbating the issue."
Oh, yeah. I remember that point.
So what he's saying is that essentially talking about race a lot makes it worse. Talking about a problem makes the problem worse. Now, generally speaking, and specifically speaking, I wholeheartedly disagree with that idea, but I'm not surprised by it.
Is there ever a time that's true?
I mean, I don't know. I guess, yes, if a problem's been fixed and you keep talking about it,
Oh, yeah.
what would be the point of that?
Yeah.
You're making it worse by continuing to talk about a
Yeah.
resolved problem.
Yeah.
But I'm not surprised because back in 2014, I wrote an article called "The Problem with Ignoring Problems." And there was a statistic in here that was really interesting. So a study on religion and race found that 64% of white evangelicals think that, quote, "one of the most effective ways to improve race relations is to stop talking about race."
Oh, my goodness.
64% of white people were like, you know what, really the best way to solve race is stop talking about it.
Wow.
The same study found that 30% of all evangelicals agreed that, quote, "it's okay for the races to be separate as long as they have equal opportunity."
What?
So, as I wrote here, don't let these statistics pass by unnoticed. Yes, a vast majority of white Christians want to solve race issues in America by ignoring them. And a shockingly large number of Christians think the concept of separate but equal is acceptable. Which, by the way, the Supreme Court said it's a very long time ago.
Wow. Oh.
But my assertion would be this: it's when do you solve problems? By ignoring them.
That happens in families a lot, though. A lot of families do that. they kind of ignore. They can go decades.
They ignore
I've
problems. They
seen
don't
that.
solve them. They
Yeah.
ignore them.
Right, they ignore and don't talk about it.
Mhm.
People are afraid. So it's not a new thing. And then you see it manifested in different ways. And then when it does come up, it explodes. Like it's a big explosion.
And you know, one of my favorite Dr. King quotes is this one, related to this. Actually, time is neutral. It can be used either destructively or constructively. We must come to see that human progress never rolls in on the wheels of inevitability. It comes through the tireless efforts and persistent work of men willing to be co-workers with God. As in, being silent and letting time pass is a neutral way to solve a problem. It will do nothing good or bad.
Yeah.
It'll just happen. The only way to bring about progress, he says, is the tireless efforts and persistent work of men willing to be co-workers with God. So the idea that we're making race problems worse by talking about them is, to use the Bible as a phrase, foolishness.
Yeah.
Is foolish. So if you think talking about it's making it worse, okay, next time your wife's mad at you, be like, honey, you're talking about the thing that I'm doing to upset you is making it worse.
Yeah.
Let's just stop talking about it. That will make it better. See how your wife likes that.
And interesting, I don't know who was polled in this, but I bet you the ones experiencing the problem would probably not say stop talking about it. You know?
Right. The wife would never say, you know what, you've really offended me, you've hurt me, but let's ignore it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's the best way to solve this.
Yeah.
No.
And that's a lot of the problem in terms of who controls the narrative.
Yes.
Like, that's a problem. Marcedalia says, Buenos dias. Sensitive but great topic today. Charles is on. What's
Charles
up,
is back. Facebook let him out of jail.
Wow. I'm not back on Facebook, as you can see, but whatever. I guess
I'm watching you.
Whatever I did was horrible.
They know who you are.
Philip says, good morning from rainy day, Virginia. Wow, we had somebody from Virginia and Honduras talk to us
Honduras,
today.
for those who don't understand.
I'm not even mad at you no more. I told you when my son went to DR, he's going to go back permanently next week. And he was like, oh, my name's Isaiah. He went to a store and they were trying to write his name down. And they were like, can you just like give me a normal name? And I was like, wow. So he had to like accommodate them. And so my point is, you're like, it's not Honduras, it's Honduras. So to you, that's what it is. KP said, not sure we're being fair to Mike. That Mike was the one that wrote the email about the term colored is not derogatory. He says problems do need to be talked about, but should race be part of every conversation? When does talking about become fixated on? Not sure I know, but I'm always not sure Mike is saying ignore race completely. Hadassah is on. What's up, Hadassah?
Do I know Hadassah? I might. I know a Hadassah. I don't know.
I know a Hadassah.
Can't-
no,
please
I don't
do
know
some-
that
can't
one.
tell.
I don't know that one. So maybe you know her. Hadassah says, I hear you, but sometimes talking about it just makes it unnecessarily awkward. Why can't people just accept each other and not stress about race unless there's a specific problem?
What, and why can't we all just hold hands and sing Kumbaya? I mean, I don't. It's again, as Jannelle's point would be, is it's easy for a guy like me to say that.
Yeah.
Guys, just stop bringing it up and we'll be fine.
Yeah.
When you're not fine.
Yeah.
And so I don't think I'm being unfair to Mike. Can you go back to that comment?
Yeah.
He says, problems do need to be talked about, but when should race be
No.
But should race be part of every conversation? Now let me ask you this. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Is race part of every conversation? No. And when does talking about become fixated on? There are people that commentate on the news and that in life are fixated on race.
I know some people.
And they see everything through the lens of race.
Yes. I agree.
But because they exist doesn't mean that they represent everyone
Yeah.
and that the best solution is for us to stop talking about that. Do you see? There are people fixated, sure. But I don't think every conversation is about race.
Yeah.
I
I
think
don't
we
think
have
so.
conversations about race when it's relevant and it comes up. And why shouldn't we?
Yeah. I don't think so. And especially in the churches, not. Charles says, I'm going to hold you down until you get out of jail, Jannelle. Yeah, I am seriously in jail. It might be permanent. I might have like a life sentence. Remember that movie, Life? Life! That's what
Yes, you
they
get.
got, the sentence. Let me see. Charles says, that is the problem. We were quiet and pretended that nothing was wrong. Now, where are we? Or here we are.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Well, it is 9:17 and it's Friday. So it's you. Oh, are you gonna take a nap? Are you doing your naps on Friday?
I don't know. I've got my in-laws are coming for the first time to see the new place, and my brother-in-law, and the place looks great when everything is perfectly mowed, but that's probably like a 4 to 6 hour commitment to mow 5 acres. Yeah. So I did a little over half the lawn yesterday, and I'm gonna finish it up today. So I don't know if I have time for a nap.
Oh, well, he's working hard, y'all. That's good. You can basically say you work out.
Yeah, although I will tell you, like, sitting down for that long is on a bumpy mower kind of hurts after a while. So if you're sore from sitting, you know you got a lot of problems.
Oh, man. Charles says, I meant to say okay. And then he says, man, spell check. See? It's not just me. Brian always talks about my spell check. I do got problems with spell check. Wow, I got problems.
Because Charles noticed he made the mistake and repaired it.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
you just say crazy stuff in emails to large groups of management.
That is so messed up.
Yeah, well, you said it.
The last one I did was to a guest. I texted Opal, which is our system, and it came out awful, like the word awful. Wow, one day it's going to be like real bad. But I'm trying. I'm going to do better. All right, y'all. Robert says, tell Isaiah we're praying for him. Thank you. He's very excited. His apartment's already paid for, or his room. So just keep praying for him. The transition he's nervous about. But he's getting